synths are the worst. They hide in plain sight.
Adjusting internal baronet pressure. Green lights across the board.
By now, I'm sure you've deduced that our arrival in the Commonwealth wasn't coincidental. We're here because of a unique energy reading recorded by Paladin Dance's recon team. According to our scribes, the reading indicated a level of technology that only the Institute could achieve. The moment this information came to light, our mission became clear. The Institute, and everyone responsible for the creation of the synths, must be eliminated at all costs. To accomplish this goal, we need to locate the Institute's headquarters. I've had our scribes meticulously searching the
Sure.
The only logical explanation. That's where we need your help.
I have a way to infiltrate the Institute, using a device called a signal interceptor.
So it appears we share a common goal. I'm pleased that you've chosen to build the device with the Brotherhood. Now, indulge me for a moment by satisfying my curiosity. Tell me why you're so eager to get into the Institute.
I think they're the ones that kidnapped my son.
The Institute preys on the weak to further their own ends. Together, we'll make them pay for their crimes. I'll call ahead and brief Proctor Ingram. Report to the airport, and get to work on your project right away.
Internal monitoring active.
Two in the head, they'll stay dead. Advice to live by.
Lancer Captain Kells said it's gonna take a lot of hard work and discipline if I want to be as good as you.
Damn Theros. Radiation has a twisted sense of humor. Treat your power armor well, and it can get you through anything.
Elder Maxon said you'd help me build the signal interceptor.
So, looks like you're calling the shot. Alright, I'll bite. What does your new miracle device do?
The Institute uses teleportation to get in and out. This machine can hijack their signal and send me instead.
Teleportation? Molecular transmission via encrypted RF waves? Okay, even I have to admit, that's genius. This explains why we've been picking up anomalous energy readings all across the Commonwealth. Not to mention how they get their tin soldiers to come out of the damn walls. And this little beauty allows you to literally hijack a return signal. Instead of grabbing the intended target, it grabs you instead. Impressive.
Well, you definitely know your stuff.
Damn right I do. It's difficult to make out all the details here, but I'm thinking it's gonna take a cargo hold full of high-grade metal, but...
Wow. I'm glad you could make sense of those plans.
I haven't made sense of all of it yet, but here's a list of everything you need to find. You're also going to need a massive power source to get the signal interceptor running.
Greetings, Knight.
some of that equipment behind.
Excuse me, Proctor Ingram.
Any luck building the platform yet?
I glued a bunch of parts together and hoped for the best. Good enough?
Hey, you're the one that's gonna be standing on the thing. If it blows up, it's gonna hurt you a lot more than it'll hurt me. Here's a list of everything we'll need. Now, I know some of that might as well be in Greek, so I'll be around.
I'm on it.
I hope so. Oh, one last thing before I forget. It's important that all the components are wired together. If you need any help, I'll be over at the build site making some... I'd wish you good luck, Knight.
Have you ever fired a minigun? Used to be barrels like paper.
what you'll find.
Sweet.
Compromised.
If you have a moment, there's something I'd like to discuss with you.
Of course. What's on your mind?
Thank you. This isn't a formal meeting. I simply want to clear the air. I think we may have gotten off on the wrong foot when we first met, and I feel like I owe you an apology. Expecting you to embrace the standards of the Brotherhood without having a history with us was unfair. And given that you've adjusted so well to our beliefs, I don't think I needed to push so hard.
That's very kind. Thank you.
Well, you deserve it. When I was an initiate, my sponsor was Paladin Krieg, toughest squad leader I ever served with. He was a model soldier, embodying the values every trainee was striving to achieve. Fiercely loyal, secure in his beliefs, and brave to a fault. From the moment I was assigned to his squad, I was singled out. It felt like he was pushing me harder than the rest of the team. I fought by his side for years, and we had some seriously close calls. But he never explained to me why I was treated that way.
It sounds like he was trying to motivate you.
If he was, I never got a chance to ask. After I was promoted to Paladin, and I'd moved on to my own squad, I received word that Krieg was killed at Adams Air Force Base. The news was like being kicked in the stomach. I mean, I'd lost some of my brothers and sisters before, but his death, well, it really got to me. It's taken me a long time to realize it. But the reason Krieg was so tough on me is the same reason I'm so tough on you. It's because I believe in you. And I don't want to see any of your potential go to waste.
I'm flattered that you have so much faith in me.
You've earned that faith by your own hand. Well, I've said what I had to say, and I hope that it meant something to you. I trust you'll keep this in confidence, of course. Some of that information was of a personal nature, and, well, I'd like to keep it that way.
Should you be out of your room?
Ambush! Ambush! Protocols engaged.
Nothing to be afraid of.
Good work. Don't leave anything behind.
Beastly nuisance. That's dumb.
Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search.
Facilities like this were funded by privately owned corporations. More interested in quick profit.
Excuse me, Elder Maxon.
Remarkable work, Knight. The signal interceptor appears to be complete.
Lab rats standing by.
All of us are aware of the risks you're taking, and we salute you. That being said, this is the first time we've attempted to directly adapt Institute technology. When we throw that switch, we don't know exactly what's gonna happen. God willing, you'll end up inside the Institute, and the mission can continue.
Unless I end up inside solid rock.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Now, I want you to listen very carefully. Once you've entered the Institute, we expect to lose contact, so it's imperative you remember everything I'm about to tell you. About 10 years ago, the Brotherhood began recruiting civilian scientists from the Capital Wasteland to assist with various projects. During this process, we were able to obtain the services of Dr. Madison Lee, a noted mind in the field of nuclear engineering.
That's fortunate.
Yes, it was. Securing useful resources during wartime is critical. That said, Dr. Lee's contributions to our cause were instrumental in maintaining order in the Capital Wasteland. After some time, she developed differences with the Brotherhood and exiled herself to the Commonwealth. We're fairly certain that her intent was to make contact with the Institute.
I'm surprised that the Brotherhood let her go.
Had I been in command, I wouldn't have allowed it to happen. She was a valuable asset. Your mission is simple. Once you're inside the Institute, we want you to track down Dr. Lee's whereabouts. If you find out that she's still alive, make contact with her and convince her to return to the Brotherhood of Steel. There's a special project we're working on.
What's this project that needs her attention?
Dr. Lee previously worked on a potent weapon for the Brotherhood of Steel.
Sure.
We'd like her to continue where she left off. That's all I can tell you. Listen to me, Knight. I'm well aware that you're risking your life going into the Institute blind. Just keep your mind on the mission. And don't let anything they say sway you from your duty. Good luck.
I've checked and rechecked everything. I think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I can find a signal to lock onto. Are you in or are you out? Make up your mind. Let's see. Relays dialed in. Beam emitters warmed up. Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute and what they're up to. I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter's spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
Hello. I wondered if you might make it here. You're quite resourceful. I'm known as Father. The Institute is under my guidance. I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Sean?
Huh? Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean? Oh my god. It's really...
Who?
Sean, it's me. I'm your mom.
Father, what's going on? What's happening?
Sean, Daddy's gone, but I'm here. Mommy's here now.
What's going on? Father? Father!
I'll kill them for this. All of them.
I don't know you. Go away. Father! Father, help me! There's someone here, help me!
Damn it. Sean, open the door.
Father? Father, help me! She's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
I could kill you. Right here. Right now.
Yes. Yes, you could. And I would be powerless to stop you.
I want answers, asshole. Now!
Under the circumstances, I will forgive your vulgarity. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you. After all this time, it's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
Bullshit!
Is it? After all the things you've seen and experienced in the Commonwealth? Think about it. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am, raised by the Institute, and now its leader.
They stole you. Kidnapped you. It wasn't right.
Right, wrong, irrelevant. It was necessary. The Institute believed humanity's future depended on it. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
Human synths? Really?
Human-like synths. A great distinction. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course, but it had all become corrupted. in this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
Sean.
It really is. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Your father. He never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to him was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems what happened to him was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So, you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute.
Doesn't matter what they think.
I'm glad we see it the same way. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has not... Just give me time. What else can I say?
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
After what I've seen, I pity the man. He was as much a victim as anything.
After what he did to you, I'm shocked you would be so generous. But yes, I understand you've experienced things. Perhaps you ended up knowing him better. I, for one, will never truly forgive him. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and his usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. I know there's more for us to discuss, but the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something...
Sure.
And now, after all...
You want me to stay here, in the Institute?
Yes, that is what I propose. Is it so hard to imagine? The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the common...
How can you say that? How can you be so dismissive of all those people? Everything they've done?
Because it is the simple truth. And I believe you know it too. I simply ask that you give the Institute, me, a chance. A chance to show you what I've been telling you. We really do have humanity's best interest. Will you take that chance?
I just don't know.
Just give it time. Give the Institute a chance. The Institute is now your home as much as it is mine. You'll want to introduce yourself to the...
Sean, about this synth.
You mean the child? It's a fascinating project, really. There are issues to be solved, of course, but we've made remarkable progress.
Why build it to look like you?
We'd advanced the technology behind synths to a point where this struck me as an interesting variation. A new angle, if you will. Modeling it after myself seemed only natural, what with the Institute's records and my genetics and physiology. I'll make sure it's brought back online in the near future. You'll have an opportunity to interact with him further. But I'll admit I'm curious. As a parent looking for a child, looking for the younger version of me, what do you think? Do you think you could love him? Like you would a real boy?
I don't need a synth. I found the real Sean.
Yes, but not the Sean you were looking for. In some ways, the synth is far closer to what you expected. I wouldn't claim to know everything you're feeling, but if in some small way the boy's presence can help, I hope you'll keep an open mind.
Almost done. Just need to tighten up this primary drive
Excuse
servo.
me, Doctor.
That's the third primary drive breakdown this month. They weren't kidding. You really are here. Well, all right. I'm Allie Fillmore. You can think of me as the Institute's chief engineer. When Father told us about you, I could hardly believe it. You've been through so much, I think most people would have just given up. If you don't mind my asking, what was it that kept you going all that time?
I just wanted to find my son and keep him safe.
Now that you've found him, I hope you're proud of the great man he grew up to be. Now, I'll give you a quick rundown of the Facilities Division, and then I'll answer any questions you might have afterward. As you might guess, we keep the Institute's mechanical and electrical systems running smoothly. We maintain and upgrade all of the systems that make it possible to live and work in a place like this. There's a lot of machinery behind these walls that recycles the air and water and provides power to the laboratories and quarters. The work we do might not be as exciting as some of the other departments, but it's at least as important. So, now that you're here and you've spoken to Father, does that mean you're on board? Well, please do mind what you touch. Sensitive equipment here. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the Facilities Division, I'm happy to discuss it.
Sure. I'm good for now. Thanks.
Goodbye, then.
Oh, I don't know. Most of them have
Greetings.
lasted long past their
As the Institute's requisition vendor, I can provide supplies for your missions on the surface. How may I assist you today?
I'm ready to see the full Gen 3 roll.
I'll take a look. Sure.
You can return to duty. Thanks. Of course.
You know the protocol, sir. Authorized personnel only.
So Dr. Ayo thinks he can hide his...
No visible reaction in the K-14 count. We'll start the next trial.
She's been at it for over 2 hours. What is she even testing?
Nothing. At this point, she's just doing it for fun.
Dr. Lee.
Oh, it's you. You're not authorized to be here.
That was productive.
Actually, I was looking for you.
Me? Why?
Sure. I've been sent by the Brotherhood.
You don't beat around the bush. I knew it was just a matter of time. I've been looking over my shoulder for almost...
No. I just want to talk.
Fine. Since Father trusts you, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I might not agree with everything he says, but I know he'd never allow harm to come my way. Say what you came here to say, and then leave me alone.
Are you happy here?
You'd think being surrounded by cutting-edge laboratory equipment and some of the greatest minds the world's ever known would be enough. Only problem is the lack of transparency. I don't think we get the full story on everything that occurs down here. What does that have to do with why we're talking?
The Brotherhood needs your help, Doc.
Needs my help? They seemed to have everything under control when I left.
The Brotherhood valued your presence, and we'd like you to come back.
Well, how sweet of them. Tell me something. Why would I possibly want to come crawling back to the Brotherhood? What reason would I have to throw away everything?
I give up. What would it take to convince you?
All right, I'll play your game. I had a colleague down here, a Dr. Virgil. Several months ago, there was an accident in his lab, and he was killed. The incident never sat right. If you bring me solid information, do we have a deal?
I know this may come as a shock, but Dr. Virgil is still alive. I met him myself.
Oh, please. Stop trying to avoid the legwork. Deal?
Deal.
All right. Dr. Virgil's lab was in the biosciences. I can give you a code that will get you into the section, but the lab itself has been sealed, so you'll have to breach it on your own. I'd tell you to be quiet about it, but you're... And finally, if you get caught, we never had this conversation. Now, for the sake of keeping up appearances, let me see that Pip-Boy of yours. I've been told to install a Courser chip in it for you. Father's orders. You're to be given full access, with the ability...
Thank you. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
Given that the relay is the only way to access the Institute, handy is something of an understatement. In case the significance is lost on you, you'll be the only one here with that kind of access. If nothing else, it should demonstrate the amount of trust Father has placed in you. Speaking of, I trust our discussion will remain between the two of us.
I wish I had more time to spend with Quentin, but...
Is it true Food Supplement 77 has been discontinued?
to have you here.
Young
Dr.
Wally must
Clayton
be close to
Holdren,
10 years old by
head of the
now.
Bioscience
It's
Division.
remarkable that
I
any
can't
child
wait.
can survive for so long up there, don't you think?
I'll reserve judgment until I know more about it.
In that case, let me give you a brief overview of what we do here. As the name implies, the Bioscience Division specializes in fields of study such as botany, genetics, and medicine. Our most important directive is to ensure the health and well-being of everyone in the Institute. To that end, we cultivate highly specialized breeds of flora for use in food and medicine. We've even started to explore the idea of synthetic animal life. You probably saw the gorillas. They're really just a pet project at this point, but the potential is exciting nonetheless.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything more exciting than fake gorillas.
Speaking only for myself, I find them fascinating. Of course, I might be a little biased. I'm sure I've taken up enough of your time as it is. But I have to ask, have you decided whether...
I'm not sure. Right now I'm just trying to keep an open mind.
It's a big decision, I know. But it's also a rare and important opportunity. No need to rush to judgment. In any case, I imagine you'll want to continue looking around. Or, if you prefer, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Take care, then.
Please resist any urge you might feel to eat the specimens in the hydroponic garden. Dr. Holdren's synth gorilla project is showing promising results.
That's it.
Dr. Carlin, a retrieval team just sent back preliminary test results from one of our surface
looking forward
crops.
to working
Go
with
on. The specimens are showing an abnormal growth rate. They were designed to thrive in a radiated environment.
Nice.
Got it.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
The Institute is my life. I hope it'll be yours too.
Scanning. Subject identified.
I'm seriously thinking of heading over to robotics to knock some heads together.
What now?
They're dragging their feet on the targeting package upgrades I asked for. Maybe I should take some courses.
Carry on, ma'am.
Send the message.
Please don't. There's enough friction as it is between us and pretty much all the other departments.
You going soft on me, Alana? My methods get results.
Child synth.
This time as well.
It's just remarkable.
I know it'll be a difficult adjustment
Hi, Doc.
for you, but
So,
try to remember that synths
Here you
aren't
are.
people.
Justin Ayo, Acting Director of the Synth Retention Bureau. I'll be upfront with you. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you for the near future. Despite your relation to Father, I'm sure you understand.
Why? Don't you trust me?
I'll be honest. You're an outsider. The first outsider to be allowed access to the Institute in quite a long time, in fact. There's little precedent for this situation, so it's only natural to take extra precautions, It's nothing personal, I assure you. Now, Father has asked that I provide you with a brief overview of the Synth Retention Bureau. Our primary responsibility is the recovery.
I'm sure it's best for everyone if the synths remain here.
Certainly. We can't allow sophisticated Institute technology to fall into the wrong hands. The results could be disastrous. Our main instrument is the Courser, a third-generation synth assigned to operate on the surface. Coursers hunt down and reclaim synths that have escaped the Institute. They are highly self-sufficient, trained in combat, infiltration, and tracking. In a word, our Coursers are relentless. But I gather you know all this, since you've encountered one already. In fact, I'd very much like to know how you defeated it.
I'm no stranger to combat.
Even so, a Courser should be more than a match for any single combatant. I suppose I'll have to ask robotics to perform detailed diagnostics on the entire production run. As if we don't have enough problems. Now, unless you need something else, I'll get back to work.
I'm good for now. Thanks.
Very well.
You're here. Glad you made it.
Reporting status. All functions normal.
Operating. Remember to keep unnecessary power consumption to a minimum. Don't recharge.
Synth unit, you were scheduled for maintenance duty in SRB last night. Anything
Doctor.
Took you long enough to find that evidence. Let me see what you've got.
I'm afraid it's bad news.
Since when do you know what I consider bad news? Just let me hear it.
Shut up.
I'm gonna make sure the whole program is shut down. If not for good, then at least for years to come. After that, I know what I'm about to do will be seen as a betrayal. Treason, he'll probably call it. So, I'm leaving. I have a plan. And if it works, I'll be somewhere safe. Somewhere not even the coursers can find me.
They lied to me. They lied to me, and I didn't even realize how far it went. All those years of loyalty. For nothing.
No matter how badly it hurts, you needed to hear the truth.
And for that, I thank you. I came to the Institute to get away from the Brotherhood. From the whole world. I just wanted to do my research in peace. Father took me in and gave me access to cutting-edge technology that I only dreamed existed. I became jaded. I thought that the Institute cared, that they wanted to better mankind. Maybe in their own twisted way they still do. But now I realize if you can't trust the people you're working for, then it's all pointless. If they lied about Dr. Virgil, who knows what else they've been lying about? Or what their plans are for my work. I'll make my way back to the Brotherhood. But I'm going to have to do it on my own. I can't take any chances being... Tell whoever sent you that they've just regained the services of Dr.
When are you going to tell me about this?
It's an honor to have you here now.
Do we really need all these coursers roaming the halls?
Now that you've had a chance to see the Institute firsthand,
First things first. How do I get back to the surface?
the same way you got in, of course. You and... Ultimately, all our knowledge and resources are focused on a single goal. The goal is best summarized by our motto. Mankind. Redefined. As remarkable as our synths are, the superior synth mind and body attempting to wrestle with something approaching free will can be a recipe.
So, it's like every other wonder gizmo ever invented. When will you eggheads learn?
Have faith. Let me show you how we deal with such problems. A rogue synth has taken over the... His memories have been erased under his leadership. The Raiders have taken many innocent lives. I've dispatched a courser to Libertalia.
Sure. We'll just fight our way through an army of homicidal maniacs and ask this synth to come on home.
I didn't say it would be easy. But I'm confident that with a... Now you should get moving.
Sure.
hope this has something to do with our mission. It's a shame these people have to live in fear.
Hostile.
When will they learn?
Ain't personal, just you or me.
Hostiles have retreated.
Where'd that little bitch go?
Perimeter movement detected. Possible engagement. Hostile enemy presence still detected. AO is not secure. Scanning.
You must be the courser I'm supposed to meet.
Yes, ma'am. Designation X6. I've already neutralized the...
If this thing even looks at me the wrong way, I'm putting it down.
All right, let's go.
Right behind you, ma'am.
End of the line!
Where'd they go? Hold up a moment, ma'am. There's something important I need to tell you. Still with me?
I'm listening.
I'm going to give you B592's reset code. If he hears the code phrase, it'll reset his cognitive processes and make him docile. You'll need to say B592 initialize factory reset, followed by the authorization code Gamma 71 Epsilon. Once he's shut down, I can transport him safely back to the Institute.
Good. I'd like to avoid any unnecessary violence.
Well, he might not be alone up there. Violence might be inevitable. That's all, ma'am. Ready when you are.
Judging by your gear, I'm gonna guess you two are agents just like me. So, made it to the top.
B592 initialize factory reset. Authorization Gamma 71 Epsilon.
You okay? Cameron! Shit, they did something to him! Take them out! Whoa!
Your reconnoiter of the Institute complete. You finally have first knowledge about this.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the Interceptor would do to you.
You mean being zapped into energy and then put back together again? Piece of cake.
You can make jokes all you want, but I wouldn't put so much faith in technology I didn't understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
For all we know, that's a recipe for Deathclaw surprise.
Well, it's the best we could do with such short notice. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it. I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's gonna take some time to crack. After that, we'll have to see what we've got. In the meantime, your mission to recruit Dr. Lee still needs to be... Good luck, Knight.
Time to waste. There's work.
I received word that Dr. Lee is returning to us. How cooperative do you think she'll be?
Will she be harmed if she doesn't cooperate?
Absolutely not. We have big plans for Dr. Lee, including the resurrection of one of her greatest creations. The last thing we'd want to do is kill the Golden Goose. As soon as Dr. Lee arrives, we'll interrogate her aboard the Prydwen. She's been under the Institute's influence for the last decade. Now, on to other matters. Thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts, I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. Once again, Knight, you don't fail to impress. Dismissed.
How can a machine believe it's alive? It's ridiculous. Maxon might appear compassionate, but I can assure you, the Institute faces prejudice.
Ingram?
So, I bet you're eager to get your hands dirty on our new project. How much has Maxon told you about it?
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help us crush the Institute.
It will, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us first. Come on, it's this way. Unless you're blind as a bat, I'm sure you've noticed that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Prydwen might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing him back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need your help.
No problem. I'm sure this only looks worse than it actually is.
Huh. I wish I had your confidence, because this is not going to be easy. Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's going to take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working again. The first problem is his CPU. It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows itself out.
I assume you can fix that?
I wish it was that simple. If this happened to one of the robots on the Prydwen, I'd just swap out its fusion pile. As much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. Luckily, you were able to convince Dr. Madison Lee to return. She was on the original build team for Liberty Prime a little over a decade ago. I've already spoken to her, but she's reluctant to work on Prime for some reason. If you could get her down here to lend a hand with his power system, we can get the big guy moving.
Commonwealth's in first place.
Attention! Ferrum Squad, report to debriefing. Ferrum Squad to the debriefing.
Welcome aboard, sister.
Worried about these recruits.
Dr. Lee.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
What changed your mind?
Nothing changed my mind. I promised you I'd return to the Brotherhood, and I've kept my end of the bargain.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee?
Oh god. Mole rat on a stick was a really bad idea.
It's nice work bringing Dr. Lee back into the fold. Now, there's something you need?
Let me see what you have.
Be my guest.
on the gram with a little Nuka-Cola.
When I get off duty, that Salisbury steak is mine. Heard you gave those beauties at Fort Strong something to think about.
Proctor.
Well, things are off to a good start. Isn't that right, Doctor?
I hope so. Prime suffered some significant damage to his memory core. I wish your people would have been a bit more careful, Proctor. The good news is that the damage isn't irreversible, and I should be able to get the power flowing into his CPU core without overloading. If your people stay out of my way, that is.
Charming, isn't she?
Yeah. Sorry about that, Ingram.
Don't worry about it. We might be butting heads on a few issues, but I've dealt with worse. Besides, Dr. Lee's worth all the aggravation. We're working with one of Prime's original designers. I don't see it getting any better than that. In fact, since they...
Sure. Anything you need.
That's what I love about you. You're ready to leap into action, and The actuators are what allows Liberty. Prime's new LEMs are way too... We're gonna have to rip those out, construct a brand... What we need you to do is build the actuators for...
Now that you know what the actuators are, you need to know how to make them. These are the plans and the materials list. Don't lose them.
Now, before you get that look on your face, you'll be happy to know that we have plenty of the raw materials on that list right here at the airport. The only thing we need you to head out and find is a high-powered magnet. According to Proctor Quinlan, the best place to find one is in any of the ruined hospitals around the Commonwealth.
Right.
We've already sent out a few teams to find the rest of the high-powered magnet.
Once you start building the actuators, we need one for each limb, so good luck.
You know those synths with the plastic faces? Ugh, they creep me the heck out.
Facilities like this were funded by
Mrs.
private
feeling jittery and distracted?
More interesting.
Perhaps she's suffering from what leading doctors are calling ladies' hysteria.
Please step into the intruder and identify yourself. Law-abiding citizens at all clear. False alarm. Standing down. Scanning for hostiles.
Beastly nuisance.
Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search. Area secure. Approach and identify approach. Your citizens will not be harmed. Citizens will not be harmed.
Why not let the robot deal with it?
Going down. Basement.
Sweet.
Let's open it up.
You should stay on point. Your instincts seem to be right on target.
Going up. Second floor. Going down. Basement. Going up. Ground floor. Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search. False alarm. Standing down. Going down. Basement. Going up. Second floor. Going up.
Little old beasts. Nothing to be afraid of.
Ground floor.
Oh, back to the usual date.
True peace can only be achieved by superior
Going
fire.
down.
Nothing there on.
Basement. Going down. Basement. approach and identify yourself. Unidentified intruder detected. Beginning search. Scanning for hostiles. Going down. Basement. Fugitive has been... Going up. Second floor.
Dumb and ugly and a child, it'd be a super mutant. last person that disobeyed Captain Kells ended up scraping rust off Ripley's hull.
Proctor Ingram.
That's all 4 actuators. Delivered and done. Nice work.
Right on schedule. I've completed the restoration of Prime's basic functions, and he's ready to go. In fact, it's getting difficult to explain to the system why it can't move right now.
Well, as soon as my scribes get those actuators in place, we'll have his arms and legs installed in no time. Which brings me to your next assignment. It won't be long before Prime can walk and talk, but he's missing one last important element. His nukes. Without them, his offensive systems aren't...
I'll run down to the Super Duper Mart and pick some up.
Cute. I wish it was... Prime's bomb pack is fitted for Mark 28 nuclear bombs. The Commonwealth was a major staging area, but since we arrived...
That's going to be a problem. Without a fully...
Great. That's just great.
Well, hang on a second. But before you give up hope, there's actually a silver lining here. Proctor Quinlan has located some records. We're fairly certain this included a stock... The catch is that the installation is located somewhere within the glowing sea.
Oh no, not again.
Yep. We better stock back up on the anti-radiation. Scribe Halen's established a I suggest you head out there first. Hopefully, by the time you've returned, we'll be ready to wake Prime up, and you can say hello. Good luck, Knight.
Rearming Prime with nukes should get him back to full fighting potential.
Feeling creative today?
Dr. Lee's arrived. I'm certain she'll be vital to the Brotherhood's success.
Excuse me, Scribe Halen.
It's good to see you again, Knight. You've come a long way since you stumbled.
I'm surprised you've survived over there without my help.
Now that the Prydwen's here, we don't really need you anymore. We've had the occasional synth attack. Thanks to the reinforcements and the air support, I'd say that site was secure.
That's not surprising. After all, it's in good hands.
I appreciate that. Anyway, I know you don't have time for small talk, so I'll get right to it.
Sure.
I've had the men set up the equipment we'll need to pinpoint you. We've rigged up this distress pulsar to emit a unique tone. When you find the bombs, plant them. After that, you should probably head back to
I hope this plan works.
Look, if you don't, the radiation will cook you from the inside out. Good luck, Knight.
Pervertibird should give us their superiority.
So you're the new knight I heard about. Glad to have you on the team.
State your purpose, stranger. You walk on Atom.
It's all right, brother. I'm a child of Atom too. I'm part of a church up north, the Nucleus, near a town called Far Harbor.
Far Harbor. You've seen Atom's holy veil, but you have traveled so far. I apologize. I will not keep you from... Take this, and prepare. Follow the brilliance of the glow. May Atom's radiance warm your soul.
Paladin Dance.
Now that this site's been secured, you should return to the airport immediately. I'll remain on watch and...
Was it something I said?
Not at all. I just don't have a choice. Elder Maxon's orders were quite clear. I'm not to take my eyes off these bombs until If we want Liberty Prime to reach peak fighting efficiency, we can't afford to lose this stockpile. Dismissed, Knight.
Dr. Ingram?
Looks like the Mark 28s are gonna do the trick. That was a good find.
I'll work with your team to ensure that Prime's bombs remain stable after they're loaded into his pack. It won't be too much of a problem.
Well, Dr. Lee, I have to admit, we couldn't have done this without you.
It's a little early to begin celebrating. We haven't fully thrown the switch on Liberty.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Absolutely.
Proctor, all the readouts look green. I think it's time for you to perform the power shunt.
Actually, I think I'm gonna let you press the button. After all,
it would be better if a trained technician performed that.
Liberty Prime, back online.
Alright, let's run a basic diagnostic on him.
Diagnostic command accepted.
Give him a moment. He needs to adjust to his new configuration.
Voice module online. Audio functionality test initialized. Designation: Liberty Prime Mark II. Mission: the liberation of Anchorage, Alaska. Primary targets: any and all red Chinese invaders.
Let me run a system analysis and battle readiness check.
Liberty Prime, full system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot. Warning: nuclear weapon payload depleted. Reload required. Warning: power core offline. Running on external power only. Core restart recommended. Ability to repel red Chinese invaders compromised.
Appreciate it. Well, I have to admit, I wasn't sure we'd be able to pull it off, but Liberty Prime's looking pretty good.
With him on our side, I don't see how the Institute even stands a chance.
I couldn't agree with you more. Before you head off to your next assignment, I have something for you. I came up with this little beauty myself. I think it'll add a bit more punch to your power armor.
I didn't get anything for you.
Oh, sure you did. It's that big metal behemoth standing over there. Anyway, that's enough of that. You better hightail it up to the Prydwen. Elder Maxson said he needed to speak to you as soon as you were done here. And thank you, Knight. Without you, none of this would have been possible.
Look, I'm really busy. I'm not in the mood for talking.
Is there anything you wish to tell me, Knight?
I'm not sure I like how you're asking me that.
And I don't appreciate being betrayed. Proctor Quinlan completed the decryption of the data you retrieved from the Institute. A portion of his findings included a list of synths that went missing or escaped from their underground facility. After careful analysis of the information, we've discovered something unprecedented. Paladin Danse is a perfect match for one of the synths on that list.
That's impossible.
I'm afraid not. The evidence is quite damning. The data you brought back included a record of each subject's DNA. We keep the same information on file for all of our soldiers. Paladin Danse's DNA is a perfect match for a synth they called M797. To make matters worse, he's gone AWOL. Disappeared without a trace. His sudden absence simply reinforced. I'm finding it difficult to believe that he never...
After everything I've done for the Brotherhood, you have some nerve accusing me of lying.
Your outburst leads me to believe I've misjudged you, which means I've decided to take you at your word. However, that doesn't absolve you of your duty. Danse is a synth. He represents everything we hate, a monstrosity of technology. Our mission in the Commonwealth is clear. The Institute and its creations need to be destroyed in order to preserve our future, which leaves me facing the most difficult order I've ever given. I'm ordering you to hunt down Danse and execute him.
I won't do it. Danse deserves a chance to explain himself.
You will do it. This is not up for judgment or debate. I'm giving you a direct order, Knight, and I expect you to Listen, I'm not blind to the fact that Danse was your mentor, and this isn't an easy burden to bear. But if we're to remain strong, we can't find Proctor Quinlan. And Knight, there's a promotion for you riding on the results. You're dismissed.
Station keeping maintained. Thruster stable.
Superstructure integrity green. Be stable.
Attention. Bravo 6-4, report to Armor Bay 2. Bravo 6-4 to Armor Bay 2.
Oh, Knight. I was told you were coming. Sorry about this business with Danse.
I don't want to talk about it.
I understand. On to your orders, then. I've been poring over Dance's duty reports, and unfortunately, I haven't found any concrete information. As you're well aware, Danse had intimate knowledge of the Commonwealth, and I'm afraid he could be seeking refuge anywhere. I think our best approach would be to identify every location he's ever visited and eliminate them as possibilities one by one. You may want to get comfortable. This could take quite a bit of...
What the hell is this crap about Danse being a synth?
I assume your outburst was a reference to some doubt regarding Dance's identity. I can assure you that my findings are quite accurate, Scribe.
So he sets Danse up, and then you knock him down. Is that it?
I don't like your tone, Haylen.
My tone? Who cares about protocol at a time like this? I can't believe that after everything Paladin Danse did for you, you're just gonna turn your back on him like this. There's obviously been a mistake, and we need to get to the bottom of it.
Scribe Haylen, you're addressing a senior officer, and you will show her the respect that she's due, or so help me, I'll have you brought up on charges. Now, unless you're here with information that can...
Of course. My apologies, Proctor. I believe I have some information that's relevant to the search.
Very well, then. Would you care to enlighten us? Or do we have to wait until you decide to grace us with your knowledge?
Knight, if you'd accompany me to the flight deck, I'd like to show you the information I've compiled firsthand. I've stored the data on my Vertibird gunship's computer.
Uh-huh. I'll take anything that gets me closer to finding Danse.
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed, Knight. I'll continue doing my...
If you'll follow me, ma'am.
if it isn't the woman who revived
Proctor Quinlan?
Ah, Knight. You have technical documents, perhaps?
I found some technical documents for you.
And they're in wonderful condition as well. Excellent work. Here are the caps that I promised. Remember, check every building you
Scribe.
Do you actually plan on killing Paladin Danse?
Aren't you supposed to tell me where Danse went?
Yes. And I promise I will. But before I do, I need you to listen to what I have to say. I've known Paladin Danse ever since. He trained me, showed me the ropes, and when I screwed up, he taught me to dust myself off and move on. He's earned my admiration, my respect, and my friendship. I don't care what Quinlan's report says. I don't care if he's a machine or not. He's still Danse.
Why are you telling me all of this?
Because someone has to before you rush off and carry out Maxon's orders without thinking about what you're doing. Danse is the most selfless person I've ever met. I've watched him risk his own life based on nothing more than principle alone. That's why I'm asking you. Not just as a member of the Brotherhood, but as a human being. If you're not convinced by what he says, or somehow he's become truly lost to us.
All right, I'll hear him out.
That's all that I ask. I'll just have to trust that when the time comes, you'll do the right thing. Before the Pribwin showed up, Danse had me identify a fallback point if we ever lost the police station. It was Listening Post Bravo, an old pre-war US military outpost on the northern frontier of the Commonwealth. It's isolated, and we're the only ones that knew about it. So, there's a good chance that's where he's headed. Just be careful. There's no telling what state of mind he's in right now, or if he trusts any of us at all.
going down. Attention. This is now a combat zone.
I'm not surprised Magnus sent you. He never liked to do the dirty work himself.
I don't understand what's going on, Danse.
Believe me, this is more of a shock to me than it is to you. I didn't know. Until Quinlan got that list decoded, I thought synths were the enemy. I never expected to hear that I was one of them. If it wasn't for Haylen, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. So, what are your orders? Does Maxson even want me alive?
No, but I'm hoping there's a way out.
Don't be ridiculous. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that this must be difficult for you. I wish Maxson had sent someone else, but that doesn't change a thing. I'm a synth, which means I need to be destroyed. If you disobey your orders, you're not only betraying Maxson, you're betraying the Brotherhood of Steel and everything it stands for. Synths can't be trusted. Machines were never meant to make their own decisions. They need to be controlled. Technology that's run amok is what brought the entire world to its knees, and humanity to the brink of extinction. I need to be the example, not the exception.
If you really feel that way, why did you run in the first place?
The moment I learned the truth, I knew my life was in danger. I'm a soldier, so self-preservation kicked in. I needed to regroup and assess the situation. Once I got here, and I had some time to think. I realized I'd just made everything worse. I should have stayed on the Prydwen and accepted the inevitable. Like I said, I need to be the example, not the exception.
The empathy that you're showing me, it's a human emotion.
I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I've made my decision. I'm ready to accept the consequences. Maxson's ordered you to execute me.
No. I won't do it, Danse.
I can't believe you'd risk your life just to keep me alive. Why would you do that for me?
I've already lost my family. I don't want to lose my friend.
You're right. How could I have been so blind? I should consider how my death might affect the people that care about me. Perhaps now that you've opened my eyes, I can...
Yeah, there is that little problem to deal with.
Actually, I might have a solution. The only clear choice is for me to leave the Commonwealth. The sooner I make for the border, the sooner I take my holotags. Use them to prove that you're... Now, come on. Let's get that.